Yes, I would like to play first. And that's okay, I suppose. Alright, we're gonna lead off with Seacram Coast, Springleaf Drum. Hopefully follow that up with like a Tide Hollow Sculler, but if not, Steel Overseer. And then Sculler next turn, if assuming the Overseer lives. I do want to put up a fight this game. That last game was a bit not pathetic, but it could have gone better. Let's just say that. Alright, so he mulligans to 6, keeps his hand. I stay at 7, and so that's something. Alright. He drops a Noble Hierarch. I would really like to draw like a Zealous Persecution, but I suppose a Tempered Steel is good as well. Let's do a Steel Overseer. And see if that survives. If it does not, that's fine. I'll just fetch a Swamp. And so what's he got for 2 mana? It's Lotus Cobra? Possibly. Yes. And then he drops that. And he's got a Path to Exile, I imagine? No, Stoneforge. Alright, so this is getting a bit out of hand. Zealous Persecution. I would like to draw you. I would really like to draw you. But a Pithing Needle instead. That's okay. Alright, so let's Windbrisk Heights. And see what we can get. Alright, so Tezzeret, the only playable in there, worth picking up. Alright, so let's tap that and a white to play Tide Hollow Sculler. Check out his hand. And let's get rid of the sword. And we'll pass. I'll go ahead and hang on to the Pithing Needle and see what he fetches up here with his Stoneforge. Depending on what the land is here, will determine which card I declare for a Pithing Needle. Probably Sword of Feast and Famine. Alright, good. And then he'll play that. Can't equip it this turn, but he can get it on the field. And then I'll name the card. And that should be good enough to hold him back for a bit. So I'll take 3 off his Cobra. Cool, cool. Get a land in there. Alright, so let's declare Sword of Feast and Famine here. Alright, so Sword of Feast and Famine it is. And let's go ahead and drop a Master of Ethereum. Just to have some creatures to beat him back with. So his sword's useless. It'd be bad if he played a Pride Mage here. Alright, so Path to Exile. And I get to choose a Swamp. He gets his sword back, which is unfortunate. And he does have enough to equip it this turn. And unfortunately, it will have protection from my Master of Ethereum. which is quite inconvenient, to say the least. Alright, so have to take that. Really no choice. I'm not gonna kill my or chump block with the Steel Overseer. Alright, so here's an Ink Moth Nexus. Here is a Tempered Steel. Alright, so if I activate the Ink Moth when the time comes, it will potentially be a 2/2 4/4 5/5. And if I attach Tezzeret that same turn, it could be a 10/10. The problem is I would have to attack with 3 creatures, and I should be able to do it. If I don't die this next turn and he doesn't have removal for my Ink Moth, I should be able to kill him next turn. Yeah. We'll see how the cards fall here. Well, no, because Tezzeret's ability is not an instant. That makes sense. So it'll take at least 2 turns. But at least here I should be able to block his Lotus Cobra. Alright, so he's going to attack me for 6. Seven. My Ink Moth is a 4/4 5/5. I think I'm gonna have to take it this turn. Let him mill me out a bit. Activate the Ink Moth. Put a counter on it. Alright, so that was a good draw. Alright, so here, what I could do is actually pretty limited. I've got the Ink Moth that I could potentially cast, and that would be a 5/5 6/6. He would take 6 poison damage, and that would be it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to just pass again. Well, let me think. I have a. He's gonna have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, potentially 7 creatures to attack with. If I block the colonnade, I block the 2 wolves, and I block one other creature, like the one Lotus Cobra. I'll still take 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. So I will need all my creatures in order to survive this next turn. If he goes all in. Of course he draws a land. That's just what he needs. So he's got a colonnade. He's going to equip the sword. To Stoneforge. That might be it. He might have just figured out a way to kill me. So Ink Moth on the colonnade. The Steel Overseer on the Stoneforge. Block the wolves. And I still take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's figured me out pretty much exactly. Alright, well that's game. So, I want to call it close, but wasn't really that close. Just didn't draw any of the tech I had against him. Except Pithing Needle, and that the fact that he got those two swords just kind of ruined that part of the game there. But yeah, we'll keep going and hopefully not have luck like that again. So I'll see you in round 3. Alright, so next game, and this hand's